great if that had been a
Yeah.
studio note. If you could just get a little terrorism involved,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah.
great. They're driven
Yeah.
together, they
A
run
big-
into...
Hi, everyone. Hollywood has always sold us dreams wrapped in perfect endings. But behind the lights and applause lie stories filled with pain, pressure, and silent battles no camera ever sees. Few lives reflect that heartbreaking contrast more than Rob Reiner. He gave the world stories that made us laugh, cry, and believe in love, yet his own life carried a darkness few truly understood. Now, after years of whispers and unanswered questions, Rob Reiner's son has confirmed what many suspected all along. This is not just a Hollywood story, it's a deeply human one, filled with love, loss, and a truth that changes everything. Born on March 6, 1947 in the Bronx, New York City, Rob Reiner entered the world already wrapped in creativity. His parents, Carl Reiner and Estelle Reiner, were both deeply rooted in entertainment, and their home echoed with laughter, scripts, and performance. Creativity wasn't encouraged in the Reiner household, it was expected. The family later moved to New Rochelle, where young Rob grew up surrounded by art, humor, and the unspoken weight of a legendary last name. From an early age, Rob Reiner understood that being Carl Reiner's son would open doors, but it would also place him under a microscope. He had no middle name, something he later joked symbolized the straightforward pressure of carrying his identity alone. At just 14 years old, he appeared on television, and by his teenage years, it was clear that storytelling was not a phase, but a destiny. He attended Beverly Hills High School and later enrolled at UCLA Film School, where his love for acting and writing deepened. In the late 1960s, Rob Reiner immersed himself in the industry, performing improv, opening for jazz legend Carmen McRae, and appearing in television shows like Batman, The Andy Griffith Show, and The Beverly Hillbillies. He even appeared in the film Where's Papa, directed by his father. Still, Hollywood saw him as an extension of Carl Reiner, not yet as his own man. Everything changed in 1971 when Rob Reiner landed the role of Michael Meathead Stivic on All in the Family. The show became a cultural phenomenon, dominating ratings for 5 consecutive seasons. Rob's portrayal of the outspoken liberal son-in-law made him a household name. He won 2 Emmy Awards, received Golden Globe nominations, and became one of the most recognizable faces on television. Yet success carried a shadow. No matter his achievements, the nickname Meathead followed Rob Reiner, a label he later admitted no honor could erase. Instead of resisting it, he reinvented himself. Stepping behind the camera in the 1980s, Rob proved he was far more than a sitcom star. With This Is Spinal Tap, he reshaped satire. Stand By Me captured the vulnerability of youth, while The Princess Bride became a timeless classic. Films like When Harry Met Sally, Misery, and A Few Good Men cemented his reputation as a director audiences and actors trusted. Not every project succeeded. Later films such as The Story of Us and Alex and Emma drew criticism, and whispers of nepotism followed him as the son of Carl Reiner. Rob acknowledged his advantages, but insisted his career was earned through discipline and talent. Beyond film, Rob Reiner became a prominent activist, championing marriage equality and early childhood development, using his influence to fight for lasting social change. He campaigned for Al Gore, Howard Dean, Hillary Clinton, and later endorsed Joe Biden. He openly criticized Donald Trump, calling him dangerous and divisive. Whether praised or condemned, Rob Reiner never stayed silent. At the center of his life, however, was family. In 1971, he married Penny Marshall, becoming the adoptive father of Tracy Reiner, whom he supported as his own. Though the marriage ended, their bond remained strong. Later, on the set of When Harry Met Sally, he met photographer Michelle Singer. Their connection changed not only his personal life, but even the ending of the film itself. They married in 1989 and quietly built a life centered on love, purpose, and giving back. For Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner, success was never meant to stop at Hollywood. Together, they founded I Am Your Child Foundation and later Parents Action for Children, dedicating their time, resources, and influence to early childhood education. They believed the earliest years of a child's life shaped everything that followed, and that belief became a mission they carried together for decades. Their work reflected not ambition, but compassion. The couple raised 3 children, Jake Reiner, Nick Reiner, and Robbie Reiner. Jake Reiner found his path in journalism and filmmaking, while Robbie Reiner gravitated naturally toward storytelling, sharing a close bond with both parents. But Nick Reiner's life followed a far more difficult road. From an early age, he struggled deeply, entering rehabilitation at just 14 years old. What followed were years of addiction, recovery attempts, setbacks, and pain that tested the entire family. Through it all, Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner never turned away. They stood by their son through every relapse and every moment of hope, believing fiercely in redemption and love. Their devotion never wavered, even when the weight became heavy. That unconditional support, born from faith and family, would ultimately become entwined with the most tragic chapter of their lives. On December 14, 2025, the world was stunned by devastating news. Rob Reiner, 78, and Michelle Reiner, 70, were found dead in Brentwood, Los Angeles home. It was Robbie Reiner who discovered her father's body after concern was raised over a missed appointment. Moments later, the horrifying realization came that her mother was gone as well. Police arrived. Sirens echoed softly through the quiet streets. The neighborhood fell silent. And in that stillness, Hollywood froze. Soon after, the tragedy took an even darker turn when Nick Reiner was arrested near the University of Southern California and formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The news was almost impossible to comprehend. Investigators later revealed that just the night before, the family had attended a Christmas gathering hosted by Conan O'Brien, a setting meant for laughter and celebration. Instead, witnesses recalled moments of tension that in hindsight felt unsettling. No one present could have imagined that within hours, a respected Hollywood household would be at the center of such an unspeakable loss. The shock rippled far beyond the Reiner family, leaving the entertainment world reeling and searching for answers. As the news spread, tributes began pouring in from every corner of Hollywood and beyond. Billy Crystal, a longtime collaborator and close friend, was among the first to arrive at the family home, devastated by the loss. Albert Brooks, Larry David, Martin Short, and countless others shared memories of Rob Reiner not just as a brilliant filmmaker, but as a loyal friend, mentor, and deeply compassionate human being. Even world leaders paused to acknowledge the magnitude of the loss. Former presidents Bill Clinton and Joe Biden honored both Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner for their lifelong dedication to storytelling, activism, and public service, emphasizing the lasting impact they had on culture and society. At the time of his death, Rob Reiner's net worth was estimated at $200 million, earned through decades of acting, directing, and producing iconic films, as well as co-founding Castle Rock Entertainment. His financial success was further supported by smart real estate investments in Beverly Hills, Malibu, and Brentwood. Yet, despite the numbers attached to his name, wealth was never what defined him. His true legacy lives on in stories, in laughter shared across generations, in tears shed in darkened theaters, in films that reminded us again and again what it means to be human. Rob Reiner's life was a study in contrasts, extraordinary success paired with profound personal pain. From the Bronx to Hollywood royalty, from timeless classics to devastating loss, his journey reminds us that legends are human too. If this story moved you, please like, share, subscribe, and keep these stories alive. Thanks for watching.